Hey everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am coming in today and playing around with the new Sweet Violet card making and craft kit from White Rose Crafts, and I'm making 5 cards that you too can make really fast, basically just using the things in the kit. For card 1, ignore the giant hole I cut out of the Metallics cardstock. I knew I wanted a border for my sentiment, and I didn't want to waste cardstock knowing that this was basically getting fully covered. So yes, I die cut out a square in the middle of the cardstock. You don't need a die to replicate this card. I just used one for convenience because convenience, but you can hand cut out any shape from, yeah. So I'm pulling a piece of the satin ribbon from the kit, and I am using a lighter to keep the edges from fraying because I made a mistake. I should have somehow assembled the 2 pieces of printed paper together and tucked the edges of the ribbon under the 2 pieces of the... I messed up. But I put the cute little ribbon slide, ribbon slide? Ribbon slide? We're going to call it a pearl ribbon slide, on the card, and I used my lighter to burn the edges. Children, don't try this at home. I've been burning satin ribbons since the beginning of time. Yeah. But look how nice it looks in the end. And I know the ribbon's not going to fray, which is perfect. This is the piece of Metallics cardstock that I die cut out. Again, you don't really need a die to do this. I just pulled a basic square die from my collection because I was feeling, I didn't want to hand cut it out. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling lazy. I'm using a little bit of pumice stone distress oxide here and stamping out my sentiment from the included stamp set, and I love this card. I think it's so pretty and elegant, and I feel like we should have tea with it. I feel like we should all be wearing floral dresses and drinking tea and having scones. I love the paper included in this kit. It's so delicate and feminine, and it's, yeah, I love this card. My second card today is going to feature some more paper piecing and some more ribbons from the kit. I'm going to use the wide set lace ribbon, and I'm going to include as well some of the 3-dimensional paper flowers. I'll show you how I do it so they look really pretty on a card. I lay down I've trimmed up one of the pieces of the printed paper, and I've got just, I think this is like 1.5 inches, it could be 2 inches, strip of another piece of paper, and I'm literally adhering. Yes, you're going to continue watching me fight with quick tape. I haven't solved my quick tape problem. We're all just going to deal with it. Anybody have any suggestions on quick tape? Like a tape runner? Please, please, please put it in the comments below, because I've yet to find a quick tape that holds, works, and is easy to use. So, for the little flowers, I'm using little flowers today, and to make them stay together, I'm actually just taking some of the wire twine of one of them and wrapping them around all 4, so they're kind of locking together, and then using a piece of the thin lace, I'm literally just tying it around. Before I put the flowers on, I caught myself. Before I adhere the flowers to the project, I'm putting my sentiment on. And again, I'm just using a great sentiment from the included stamp set, as well as some wilted, I want to say wilted violet, but it could, nope, Dusty Concord. I know that by the way yeah, it's Dusty Concord. But using some Dusty Concord because the purple's kind of perfect. Using some glue dots from my stash, I literally just put a glue dot hidden within the flowers and then where the knot of the ribbon is. And there you go. I think, again, like, I feel like we should be having tea. Really, can we have scones while we watch the video? Like, that would be fantastic. Card 3 gets a little funky, only because I'm using the iridescent paper. And I don't think many people enjoy watching me fight with my tape runner. I actually break it. Rip. There you go. It breaks. Yay! I don't think many people know how to play with iridescent paper, especially when you've got a kit that's this delicate. You make the iridescent paper the star. So I have a really muted piece of printed paper, and then the, like, hypercharged iridescent, which, like, it's beautiful, but it is hypercharged color-wise. And I've cut them up so they're just 2 really cool corner pieces, and it's kind of geometrical without being precision. I muted one of the pieces of paper by adding a second piece of printed paper over the top of it and left the other side empty. And see, like, the iridescent paper is the star. I'm not competing or fighting with it with my printed papers. So for me, that's like the coolest way to play with the iridescent paper. To finish the card off, I've got one of the ephemera from the Lemoncraft ephemera sheet, and I've just hand cut it out and using a couple dimensional tape squares, that's what I'm looking for, 3D tape squares, I've popped it up. I'm going to finish the card off with a few of the iridescent butterflies from the Bling kit. And there we go, card 3. And I think I've really figured out a way to make the iridescent paper the star of the card in a non-invasive way. Card 4, I'm going to play with the decoupage set. This is a really thick decoupage set. Like the cardstock on, or the card, it's almost cardboard-like. It's super heavy. And I was actually having trouble punching out this fine, delicate violet or pansy flower. So I wanted to show you how I solve a difficult punch out. And I just grab a pair of little snippers. Any scissors will work, but those little snippers really helped me just cut away the excess and help punch out what was a difficult punch out. I'm using another piece of ephemera card from the Lemoncraft ephemera set and a piece of printed paper with more beautiful florals. Again, I'm going to say tea and scrumpets and scones because scone sounds nice. I'm using a bit of the raffia and adhering it to the back of the ephemera card and then laying my double-sided adhesive onto it. And I just kind of like the way the raffia breaks up the piece of ephemera stock. I just went ahead and used a liquid adhesive on the decoupage beginning set, and I never do this, but I'm assembling this three-dimensional flower on the card itself. So I put the base down, and then using three-dimensional tape squares, three-dimensional adhesive squares, there we go. I'm building up the card. This is only 4 layers, so I felt like I could do all the layers, there's only 3 that are raised. I felt like it wasn't going to get too high. Sometimes when they're 5 or 6 layers, I feel like they're too tall. But when you're only doing 3 levels of three-dimensional tape, I feel like it's perfectly acceptable. And I love how this pansy floats in the middle of this card. And I actually like the fact that it's kind of the wrong color purple. There's something about it being a wrong color purple that makes it really beautiful to me. For card number 5, I'm playing around with the doily, and I'm playing around with the wood laser cut piece, and I'm playing around with the button, and I'm trying to make something really pretty. And boy, does this end up looking like a doily. I love, love, love the Wink of Stella glitter pen because it beautifully goes on to these these laser cut wood chips. The color just soaks right in, and I think the color looks gorgeous on the wood, and it's so sparkly and shiny. I'm using some wilted violet distress oxide and just hand stamping, apparently very poorly hand stamping, butterflies all over the piece of printed paper. And this is the same printed paper I used in card 2 with the flowers that are stick up. I'd used just a little scrap of it, so I used the full 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cut for the A2 card frame. I added just a touch of Wink of Stella inside the butterflies just to give them some more pizzazz. And using my crappy tape runner, I put tape on the back of my doily and let it, I probably shouldn't call them doilies, but that's what it is, right? It's a paper doily. And put, hand trimmed off the excess that was hanging off. I like it off center. I made a mistake with this card. I should have gone with a much more vibrant background. By going with the muted background, I think I did myself a disservice. But I love, love, love how the wood chip piece looks with all that Wink of Stella on it. I'm not smart. I glued everything on and then tried to add my sentiment, and I was fighting the button a little bit. But I like the sentiment, Flutter by Butterfly. I think it makes the card really pretty. You can see the card just feels a little muted. So while I thought I was done, I wasn't. I grabbed my wilted violet and just kind of hit the corners with a little excess distress oxide, and I think it helped punch the color up a little bit. So there you go. There are the 5 fast cards I created today. I've got 2 more parts in this series, so please make sure you stop back on by and check out how easy it is to play with the Sweet Violet kit. I am been told there's only a couple left in stock, so if you want this kit, I would act now, pop over to White Rose Crafts and pick it up today, because it's a limited edition kit, and once it's gone, it's gone. Let me know in the comments below which of the 5 cards is your favorite, and until then, happy crafting.